Could it be? But me, your man, Louie T, welcome to week 3 of the preseason. Your man Louie T is going to be live all day long with these primetime games or these nationally televised games. 3 in all, the first of which Bears at home versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Really disappointed in this game as the Bears are resting a vast majority of their starters. Kevin White is on the field, but no Mitchell Trubisky tonight or today in this game. Was really looking forward to seeing both of the young quarterbacks, Trubisky for the Bears and Patrick Mahomes for the Chiefs. But Taylor Gabriel is in the game. So is Kevin White. And so I guess we'll get to see some of the skill guys. But I just don't understand, and we'll talk more about this during the commercial break, about some of these teams just really not giving their teams and their players enough reps in the preseason. But Harrison Butker starts off the game with the kickoff out of bounds, which gives the Bears excellent field position. And then on the first play, you get a pass to Taylor Gabriel from Chase Daniel. He picks up about 9, and then they tack on a 15-yard face mask penalty, which puts the Bears already in the Chiefs' territory at the 35-yard line. They then hand it off. Is that Benny Cunningham? Yeah, so you're not going to get any of the two running backs in the backfield either today, which is understandable, more so with the running back position than the quarterback position. I mean, I just don't get it. But we'll talk about that, like I said, more so when we get to the commercial break. But want to thank you guys for joining me today. It's going to be an all-day affair here on the Louie T Network, as we'll be really looking at these games and talking about these teams and getting prepared for the regular season. As this is the dress rehearsal for a lot of teams, not all, as you can see with the Bears not throwing Trubisky out there, which I just don't understand. But again, we'll get to that here. Play action fake, and he dumps it off to Benny Cunningham. Does Chase Daniel, and Benny Cunningham makes a nice little move. I like Benny Cunningham. I've liked him all the way back to his Rams days. Benny Cunningham's a very versatile guy, can return kicks. He did that with the Rams. He's a guy that can catch it out of the backfield, as we just saw in this particular play, makes a guy miss out in space. He can run in between the tackles. I like Benny Cunningham, and I think he's going to be a really solid back for this Bears football team. And he was solid for him last year, and I think he's going to be really solid for them again this year. So, see what they decide to do here. A gun run, and Chase Daniel pulled it out of the belly of Benny Cunningham and fumbled the football and had to fall on it. So, this was this either was some type of read option or it was RPO, one or the other. I don't know which one. With Matt Nagy being a quarterback, you'd like to think that that was going to be some type of RPO. I'd like to see what the offensive line was doing. That would tell me all I needed to know as far as it being an RPO or not. But nonetheless, there's an empty set, 5 wide. Chase climbs the pocket and scrambles, gets a nice little block from one of the tight ends on the field, and gets about a good 8 or 9 on that play. And the Chiefs, for the most part, they have most of their starters out on the football field. So it's a nice little drive that they're putting together, you know, with the Chiefs having a lot of their guys out on the field. Chiefs have helped them out on this possession, though, with the kickoff out of bounds and then the face mask penalty. So they haven't helped themselves. Handoff to Cunningham on 3rd and 3. He bounces off of a tackle and gets into the end zone, man, for a 13-yard touchdown run. I told you Benny Cunningham's a really underrated running back, man. That's a nice drive to open up the game for the Bears. To be able to move it right down the field. Benny Cunningham bounce off a tackle attempt and get into the end zone. Man, Marlon Brown with a nice block to seal off the edge to get Benny Cunningham in the end zone. It's a nice start to the game for the Bears. Cody Parkey on to try to tack on the extra point to make it 7-0 early in this ball game. And he does. So despite not having their starters out there, the Bears march it right down the field pretty much and get into the end zone. So I want to talk about these teams in the preseason and how teams are really disrespecting the preseason. Before I get to any comments, it's understandable for certain teams, certain franchises. You got a Ben Roethlisberger, you got a Aaron Rodgers, you got a Phillip Rivers, you got a Ben Roethlisberger, Drew Brees. Hell, even if Tom Brady and the Patriots decided they didn't want to play Tom Brady, we would get it. Those guys are veterans that have won in this league at a high level. We know what we're getting from those guys once the regular season gets underway. And in many cases, those guys have been in the same offensive scheme for many years. They don't really have to have the reps necessarily. You'd like to see guys get timing with teammates because usually from year to year, you're getting different teammates. And you want to get the timing down and you want to get the feel for you're just being out on the field going up against other players in the live setting. But with these joint practices, it's making it less necessary for teams to play their players in the preseason, which, again, I get. But then when you have a situation like this, and again, I kind of answered my own question. Now that I'm talking and I'm thinking about it, when you have these joint practices, it gives you a feel for what – and still, even then with joint practices, your quarterback's not going to get hit. So you want to see your quarterbacks come out here and get some reps. And some of these teams aren't taking the preseason games, i.e. the Raiders. Brand new scheme with Derek Carr having John Gruden as his head coach. It's all new. They've got a bunch of new personnel. You would think that it would be a little bit more important to play Derek Carr in the first team offense more than a possession. But that's all they got last night was one deep pass to Amari Cooper, and then they settled for a field goal, and that was it. And Derek Carr had only played one possession the previous two games combined. So, again, I don't understand the logic of some of these teams. I was, spouting off at the mouth about the Redskins last night and their lack of reps for their first team offense after a very poor showing for everyone other than Adrian Peterson and maybe Paul Richardson. I thought it was a very lackluster performance, and yet they only played a quarter and a half. If you want to call it that. It was more like a quarter and a possession, but nonetheless, it still, to me, wasn't enough. And Jay Gruden pretty much explained it by saying, look, I just wanted to get out of there healthy. I get it. I understand. But in the case of Mitchell Trubisky, this is a second-year quarterback with limited reps and experience. You've got a first-year head coach. There's no doubt in my mind, and I'm more inclined to offensive coordinators that become head coaches. They know what the hell they're doing. I fully expect Matt Nagy to have this Bears offense clicking on all cylinders once the regular season gets here. But at the same time, I look at this situation in the third preseason game. Mitchell Trubisky didn't play in the Hall of Fame game, which he shouldn't have. I get that. But they haven't played a lot over the last couple of weeks. For them to not play in the third preseason game just doesn't make a whole hell of a lot of sense to me, And I understand wanting to protect, some of your guys up front. The Bears have had so many issues with injuries up front. I understand you wanting to protect those guys, and if you're not going to play your starting offensive line, then you don't want to play your starting quarterback. So I totally get that. But you just want to see some of these guys get more reps, especially a second-year quarterback in his first year in a new offense. You'd think that getting more reps would be of higher priority in a real game setting, i.e. Patrick Mahomes taking the field now for the Kansas City Chiefs with his starters on the field. Tyreek Hill with a shovel pass, and Tyreek Hill off to the races. Wow, it's a great start for the Chiefs on essentially a shovel pass to it really was a jet sweep, but it was a shovel jet sweep to Tyreek Hill. And, man, they get 10, 20, 25, 35, 40 yards on that play, essentially. 35, 40 yards on that one run. Catch and run by Tyreek Hill. Yikes. The guy's so dynamic and explosive, man. I tell you, wow. He brings a lot to the table. So they're already in Bears territory after the catch and run by Hill. And then another throw over the middle of the field to, looks like Sammy Watkins there on the catch. And Mahomes looks good early on. Obviously only, 2 passes, 1 a shovel. on a jet sweep and the other a slant over the middle to Sammy Watkins. But they're moving the ball right down the field. That's what you're looking for. Let's see how many of these Bears defenders are on the field here. I can kind of decipher. Doesn't look like they've got a ton of starters out there on the defensive side either. So, yeah, that they don't have a lot of starters out on the football field, it looks like. A lot of backups on the field. So, I expect the Chiefs to go down the field and make this look easy, as they've done initially. If you're not going to play your starters and they're playing their starters, and we know the Chiefs are loaded with talent, whether you're talking the addition of Samuel Watkins to what was already Kelsey, Hill, and Hunt, they're loaded on the offensive side of football. Let's see if the Bears can clamp down and stop these guys from getting into the end zone and force them to settle for a field goal. But with the explosiveness of this Chiefs offense, it's going to be tough for a collection of backups that the Bears are putting on the field to stop these guys from getting into the end zone. See what Mahomes does here. Empty set. Wide open to Chris Conley, who bobbled the football. Should have caught it cleanly. Probably would have got a lot more than what he got. But he does come down with the catch. But there's a penalty flag on the play. Let's see what they are calling. They're pointing in the direction of a holding penalty or something offensive. See what they decide. Legal contact on the Bears. So that's going to bring with it an automatic first down. So, yeah. They're going to give up. I think they're going to give up a touchdown here. And if I'm the Chiefs, after this possession, I don't know if I need to see my first team offense against the Bears' first team defense, second team defense anymore. They go down and get 7 here. My man Andy Reid get one possession of work against the backups, mop them up and get them out of there. So if they get 7 here, maybe even if they get 3. I mean, this has been an impressive drive already as it is. Even as abbreviated as it's been, if you're able to punch this thing in, you might just say, all right, we're done, and keep it moving. So they're talking about some of these safeties for the Bears. I remember Hall a couple of drafts ago as one of those guys coming from a smaller school that I really liked. He was a corner. Okay. They're getting a little bit of pressure on Patrick Mahomes. Flushed him out of the pocket. And, you know, Mahomes is one of those dudes that never gives up on the play, so he'll run 20 yards backwards and try to fling it 40 yards forward. So, it'll be interesting to see with some of these players. They're talking about the Bears having some positional battles. DeAndre Hall is a guy that I remember very vividly a couple of years ago coming out in the draft and them drafting him as a corner. And I thought maybe safety might be his best position. Not the fastest guy, but he had length and he had good ball skills. So looks like he's battling for a safety spot on this Bears defense. Swing pass to Kareem Hunt, who just walks into the end zone easily. That's what you do to a second team defense. You make it look easy and you get in the end zone. Mahomes, I wouldn't be shocked if he wasn't done. That was nice and easy. About 6-play drive, right down the field, 70 some odd yards into the end zone. Easy little 22-yard dump off to Kareem Hunt, a swing pass to Kareem Hunt, little flare route right into the flats, and he walks into the end zone for a touchdown to get the scoring started for the Chiefs. And like I said, with the Bears having their second team in the game and a smattering of all kinds of guys in the game, none of which are starters, I wouldn't be shocked if the Chiefs said, all right, that's enough work for you guys. Get them out of there and keep it moving. So that might be the theme of the day. We might not see a lot of starters today. We'll see, but each team scores a touchdown on their first possession of the game. So let's get to some comments. FBG Tony says skins look horrible last night and AP looked decent Alex looked shaky and our defense looked like trash. Case ate us alive. Pretty much everything that we talked about last night. FBG Tony says, do you think the Bears should have played Mitch? At least a possession. At least one possession for the first team offense in this game. You're essentially going 2 whole weeks without live bullets flying at these guys. I'm not a fan of it. But, again, they had joint practices most likely with the Chiefs, I would guess. You know, that's the new rave and the thing in the league now. And being that Matt Nagy came from Kansas City, he's got a good rapport with that coaching staff and that organization. They probably were able to work out a situation where they were joint practices this past week. And so maybe that and that alone was enough for Matt Nagy to feel comfortable enough to not play Mitchell Trubisky in this game. Is that, yeah, we got good reps, we got good work in the course of the week with practices and against the Chiefs and their defense, and we got some looks and we worked on some things, and so I don't need to see him and risk injury during the preseason game itself because we got work during the course of the week in practice. But again, you can't simulate live bullets flying, you know. I know it's a analogy, but you can't simulate guys flying at your quarterback and actually having a chance to hit him with no, you know, red jersey on or yellow jersey on or whatever the color is that you designate for your quarterback not to be hit. And I just thought tonight, third preseason game with obviously no one playing their starters in the fourth preseason game, that you take full advantage of this final preseason game and use it to get some of your guys some reps in a real game setting. Practice is practice. It's not a game. And so you'd like to see guys just, you know, even like the Chiefs. I think they're done. I think their first team is done. One possession, in and out, get in the end zone, get them the hell out of there. That's what you want. If you don't plan on playing your players a lot, at least get them some reps to get into the flow of a game, get the timing and the rhythm down. For a young quarterback in his second year, in a first year of a new offense, I think it's only fitting that you get this guy out there and you let him, you know, get something accomplished in a game setting, but they chose not to do it. And like I said, I have nothing but the utmost confidence in Matt Nagy's ability to coach up offense and get these guys prepared for week 1 versus the Green Bay Packers. But I still would have liked to have seen them take the field. And both the offense and the defense pretty much played nobody. And so you better be right. When you make decisions like that, you better be right. You know, I've always said the number one thing is to come out of these games healthy. By not playing your guys, you know you're going to come out of this thing healthy. But football is a physical sport. Guys can get injured in practice. If guys are going to get hurt, they're going to get hurt. So the whole not playing them thing at all, you know, it's one thing to, you know, play them for a couple possessions and then to play them for a whole quarter or a whole half. But it's a whole totally different thing to not play them at all. And I thought that they would get at least some kind of work. But that's not the case. Meanwhile, the Chiefs still have their first team defense for the most part out on the field. So that leads me to believe that we may see the Chiefs offense one more time. But there was vast difference in the outcomes of the defense in their first drive and the offense in their first drive. Defense had the football moved right down the field after a bad kickoff and a face mask penalty. Meanwhile, the offense went right down the field and scored a touchdown. So offense could be done. Benny Cunningham almost broke another tackle, but he was tracked down from behind. And still got the first down, though. What up, Art? We'll talk about that. What's going on, MP? I'm going to read your comment, and we will address that during the next commercial break. We'll talk about that here in a second because I was actually trying to work on some of that before I came on live, and I ran into some hurdles. So I want to talk to you guys and see what you guys think, and if you know something, and maybe you can help me out. Maybe there's nothing I can do, and I don't know because I know one thing's for sure. I'm not playing in the fantasy league, so we'll talk about that in a second. So we'll see. As the Bears now are at 2nd and 10 after an incompletion down the sideline from Chase Daniel to one of the Bear receivers. I always keep wanting to call him Kevin White because he's got long dreads that covers his nameplate, and it also covers his 8. So I remember I thought it was Kevin White, who didn't even play in the Hall of Fame game, and I kept saying it was Kevin White, and it ended up being Marlon Brown with those long dreads covering up his name and the 8, and all I saw was the 1, so I was thinking it was Kevin White, but that was an incompletion down the sideline to Marlon Brown, and then you get a short 1-yard run to set up 3rd and 9. Kevin White checking back into the game. I'd like to see him get some targets, but they're going to dump it down to the tight end, and he's going to come up short after being cut down at about let's call that the 40-yard line, 3 yards shy of the first down. So the Bears are going to have to punt. I want to see them get Kevin White involved. I don't care if it's a bubble screen, a slant, a jet sweep. I don't give a damn. I just want to see him touch the football. Just want to see this guy be given confidence. They said he's having a tremendous camp, which is great to hear. I want to see him be involved more. So they punt the ball to the Bears, and it's down at about the 12-yard line. So the Chiefs will be backed up. Let's see if the first-team offense returns to the field or if they're done for the night or the day. And it wouldn't shock me if they were done. It wouldn't shock me at all because that was an impressive opening possession. Obviously, the Bears aren't playing their starters. You got what you needed to get out of, getting your starters out there, getting them some reps, and they scored. So I wouldn't be upset if they were done for the day. I'd love it if they came back for one more possession, get me through the first quarter. But if they don't, I totally get it. It'd make you feel a lot better if the Bears had their starters out on the field. But there's not much you get accomplished by going up against a team, second team, other than maybe building the confidence of your team. But that's not a young Chiefs offense. It's a team full of veterans that know how to get it done, other than Patrick Mahomes. So a legal formation on the Chiefs is going to back them up even more. Whoa, wait, what? Huh, okay, so a legal formation by the Chiefs sets up a situation where the Bears get the ball back in a first down because it was 4th and 3. That 5-yard penalty gives them a first down. Wow, that's rare. How do you F that up if you're Kansas City? Chase Daniel comes back onto the field, and Matt Nagy gets to call some more plays. So we'll see what happens now. Kevin White to the near side, and Marlon Brown to the opposite side. 2 wide receivers, 2 tight ends in the back. It's the formation, and they go with a gun handoff. Gun run to Benny Cunningham, and he gets about 2 yards. All right. See now. See what this formation looks like. Now Kevin White is at the far side of the field. Him and Marlon Brown just switch sides. Same formation though. Just 1 tight end this time and 2 backs. And they tried to go off tackle to the left and were stuffed for a loss of 2. And there's a flag on the play, which is probably going to be holding on the Bears offense. If I'm the Chiefs, I'm looking to decline that because of the 2-yard loss. You're going to set up about a 3rd and 11 situation here. They took the penalty, though, and made it 2nd and about 18. I would have probably just declined that penalty. The rookie James Daniel was the guilty party on the penalty. He got beat. All he did was overextend. He got too far up the field and allowed the defensive lineman the ability to try to make a play, and he tried to rebound by grabbing him. He just got too far up the field. So now it's 2nd and 18. Now you give him 2 plays to get 18 yards. I don't like that. I like my chances with 1 play for 11 yards. Now Chase Daniel takes off, and he gets about a good about a good 13. So now it's 3rd and 5. That's why I think you decline the penalty to make it 3rd and 11. I take my chances with 1 play for 11 yards versus 2 plays for 18 yards. Because basically you're giving them an average of 9 yards to get average of 9 yards over 2 plays to pick up a first down. Whereas if it's 3rd and 11, you got 1 shot to get 11 yards. So now he gets 12 on that play, and it's 3rd and 6. You just decline that penalty. I thought it was a bad move by Andy Reid, but Andy Reid isn't the best in-game decision maker anyway. So it doesn't shock me. And now the Bears pick up the first down on a check down to the tight end, Bruniker, over the middle of the field, and then he turns up the field and gets an additional 20 yards on the play. So you take a situation that could have been 3rd and 11, and you accept the penalty, and all of a sudden, 2 plays later, they're deep into Chiefs territory. Bad decision to take that penalty. I really thought that was a poor decision to take the penalty. And that's a nice throw there by Chase Daniel to Bruniker, and he turns it up the field, and he looked pretty good on that play, catch and run there. So you go from 3rd down to a 1st down and 10 from the Chiefs' 29-yard line. So Bears looking good. Second-team offense looking good against the Chiefs' first-team defense. Touchdown. Kevin White gets behind the secondary. I wanted to see this young man. I'm telling you, man, I've always been a Kevin White fan. Always, despite the injuries, him coming out of West Virginia, this guy was one of the most explosive and dynamic receivers I had ever seen coming out of college football. Wasn't running an extensive route tree coming out of West Virginia, but the guy can fly. He's huge. And I want to see the route that he ran because he was a wide open. That corner was at least 4 yards beaten, and the safety was nowhere to be found. I'd love to see the route combination. That had to be a double move because he was too wide open. Either that was some sloppy cover 2. I'm assuming that it wasn't. I just think the corner got beat by a double move. I'd love to see what the hell he did to that cornerback because, man, that corner was smoked. They haven't given me the angle I need to see what he did on that play, but, man, that corner. Orlando Scandrick, Redskin fans know all about Scandrick, whether he's with the Cowboys or with the Redskins for a brief time. Orlando Scandrick got his ass roasted on that play. He was out there. So, obviously, some of the Chiefs' starting corners aren't out there. Unsportsmanlike conduct on the Chiefs for leaping on the extra point. They'll assess it on the kickoff. But I need to see this play, man. God damn, Orlando Scandrick got destroyed on that play. And the safety just wasn't nowhere to be found. That's good, man. I hope this man can stay healthy. If he can, he's going to be a problem. Man, he was wide open. Let's get to, so MP, my man MP, what up, MP, asks the following. He says, can you update us on your fantasy league and the other challenge games you will be offering this season? And I've got videos coming out about those things shortly, but let me give you a little insight on the fantasy league right now because that's the one that I was trying to work on before I came on live today. So I was in the process of putting the fantasy leagues together. I was going to do 2. And if anybody knows this, I'd love to hear from you in the comment section. Is it possible to be the commissioner of a league and not play? Is that something that you can do? Because when I set up the league, they automatically put me in the league and I don't want to play. So obviously that's a problem for me because I'm not playing in fantasy football league. I just want to be the commissioner, you know, make sure I keep track of trades and, you know, things of that nature, waiver wire, what may have you. I don't want to play. So is there any way that I can be the commissioner, set it up, and not participate? Everyone that I've talked to says, hey, look, every commissioner that I've ever come in contact with has actually played in the league. So I can't tell you if it's possible or not to do it. I tried to do a little bit of homework on Google, before I came on live, but I ran out of time and I didn't really get to explore my options there. So I need to know, can I set this thing up and not play? If that's not possible, then I don't know if I'm going to do it, because I'm not playing in the fantasy league. I'm just not doing it. It's too time consuming for me. I've got too much stuff going on to play in the fantasy league because I'm too competitive. And to make matters worse, it goes against my principles. You know, I can't have Odell Beckham on my team, or I can't have Nelson Aguilar on my team, and they're going up against the Redskins, but I need Nelson Aguilar to get me points. It's going to be a conflict of interest, because you can root for Nelson Aguilar to do well, but my team still win. No, I don't want Nelson Aguilar to do well. I just want my team to win. And chances are, if Nelson Aguilar plays well, if Odell Beckham Jr. plays well, my team isn't going to win. And I have a problem with that. That's a conflict of interest for me, one that I can't get with. So I don't want to play because I'm too competitive. If you put me in a situation like that where I need my team to win or my team to win, I'm going to want my team to win. So how am I supposed to pick between the two? And I'm so competitive. If I'm put in a situation like that, I'm going to want my player on my fantasy team to perform well, which is a conflict of interest that I don't want to be a part of. So I don't want to play in fantasy football for those reasons, among others. But if I can't set it up without playing, if I can't set it up and just be the commissioner, then there might not be any fantasy football leagues on the channel this year. So I've still got some homework to do. I'm going to figure it out within the next 24 to 48 hours because, you know, I got to get this thing set up, get people involved. And the first team offense of the Chiefs back on the field, and Travis Kelce running wide open on a corner route through this Bears second team defense. Mahomes hits him in stride, and he picks up a gain of about 25 on the first play. They're going to move it right down the field again. Just a nice little corner route, breaks off the safety, and just destroys him, and then picks up an additional 8 yards after the catch. DeAndre Hall was in coverage, and boy, he didn't stand a chance against Travis Kelce, who's one of the best in the business at the tight end position. So after that 28-yard gain or so, they're almost at midfield with one play. Mahomes then checks it down to Tyreek Hill, who picks up about a good 5, and now they're into Bear territory. Just like that, 2 plays in the Bears territory. And like I said, I commend Andy Reid for putting his first team offense out there against these backups for a second possession. I thought after the first one, he might have said, all right, that's enough. He said, nah, I'm going to let you gain some more confidence, carve these boys up. So they're looking to go and get more points. So now after the 5-yard completion to Tyreek Hill, 2nd and 5 at the Bears' 48-yard line. Travis Kelce in motion to set up a 3 wide receiver set. Holmes fake to the running back, and then a dart to Tyreek Hill for a gain of about 17. And that's going to move the sticks and put the Chiefs at the Bears' 31-yard line. Mahomes is looking extremely sharp. He rolled out after the fake handoff to Hunt. He rolled out to his right out of the gun and threw an absolute dart to Tyreek Hill, who caught it and then went out of bounds for a gain of 17. 1st and 10 from the Bears' 31-yard line as the Chiefs are on the move yet again. Under center this time. Fake handoff to Hunt. Good pressure by the Bears. Flushes Mahomes and forces him to get rid of the football. Really good pressure there by the Bears up the middle. Really forced Mahomes to have to make a quick decision, and he decided to roll out and throw the football away. Live to fight another day. Have nothing but the utmost respect for Bears defensive coordinator Vic Fangio, which is why people think the Bears have a shot to be really competitive this year. You know, with the changes that they've made offensively, with the personnel they've brought in, with Nagy as your head coach and a guy that's really smart as an offensive mind, you're thinking that the offense can do some things, and then Vic Fangio, if he can get a healthy collection of guys out on the defensive side of the football field, you think the Bears have a shot to be competitive this year in what is a really tough NFC North division. A handoff to Kareem Hunt for about a gain of 4, which will set up about 3rd and 6, is the final play of the first quarter as we wrap up what was a really entertaining first quarter. 14-7 Bears on top. Chiefs driving to start the second quarter. Let's get to some more comments, though. What up, CD? Appreciate your support, man. Chris Devers also says, football is better when the Bears are good, and that's coming from a Dallas fan. We're going to see if the Bears can start to get back to relevancy this year. You know, they may not go and turn it around like the Rams did last year with a first-year head coach and win 10, 11, 12 games. But if they can find a way to win, 7, 8, possibly 9 games this year and really build for next year in the future, then that's a huge step in the right direction for this Bears organization. So that's the status of fantasy football right now. Is I just don't know if I can do it or not. We'll figure it out, and I'll let you guys know here in the future. But we talked. You asked about other auxiliary games that I'll be having on my channel. This year we will be doing the Survivor Pool. As a matter of fact, I need to put that video out ASAP. I should have already put that out a long time ago. I don't even know what the hell I was waiting on, because that one is pretty easy and self-explanatory. I think my biggest thing was just trying to figure out how everything was going to run through the website. And I think that's why I've been waiting so long. And it took me so long to get through the draft wrap-up series that I didn't get a chance to focus in on everything the way I wanted to in terms of the timing. But I've got to start putting this stuff out so people can make a decision as to whether they want to play or not. So I'm going to do that this weekend with the Survivor Pool. I'm also going to be doing a weekly football pool. Each and every single week, you can get in, win you some money, and I'll give you the full breakdown of that in a separate video. And then whether I do the fantasy or I don't, you'll still get a video as to what's going on with that. So this will be a very busy week for me, along with the divisional breakdowns that we'll be doing. I'll make sure that I keep you guys abreast of what's going on here on the Louie T Network. Mahomes is flushed out of the pocket. The Bears bring pressure. Flush Mahomes out of the pocket. They had the kitchen sink coming his way, and everybody got loose. It was a jailbreak. And Mahomes was under duress. He was able to use his athleticism to escape the pocket and get outside of the contain, and which is usually dangerous with Mahomes having a football. But the Bears were so athletic on defense on that particular play. Mahomes couldn't get enough on the football to get it to his receiver, and it results in an incomplete pass, forcing the Bears or the Chiefs to have to settle for a 47-yard field goal attempt here by Harrison Butker. So we'll see if he can connect to cut this lead down to 4 at 14-10. And he does, right down Broad Street. And so now it's 14-10. So 2 possessions for the Chiefs' first team offense, 2 scoring drives as they score a touchdown on the first possession and follow that up with a field goal on the second. So it's now 14-10, Bears with the lead. So in any event, I'll be putting out all the information about the Survivor Pool, which there is an entry fee for that. The weekly pool, there's an entry fee that I will be discussing, but that's weekly. You've got to have one of 2 things if you want to participate in the weekly football pool. You've either got to have PayPal or you've got to have Cash App. One of those 2 ways so that you can pay your money, and I can pay you your money if you were to win. So if you don't have PayPal or you don't have Cash App, then you won't be able to participate in the weekly football pool, because that's the way you're going to have to make your payment, and that's the way that I would pay you and dish out your money, your earnings, if you were to win the weekly pool. So that's a video coming down the line. along with the survivor pool and hopefully fantasy football is a go. Again, I've got more homework to do in that regard. Hey, you take it easy, Chris. See you later, man. Enjoy your Saturday. You know where to find me, though, if you decide to come back. I'll be here just about all day, depending on how many people are on the stream. If there's not enough people on the stream, especially for the second half of some of these games, then I might shut it down and just come back for the next game. So, you know, we'll be keeping tabs on all those things throughout the course of the day, but we'll see what happens. But the Bears have looked impressive in this game with the guys that have been on the field, especially on the offensive side of the football. Benny Cunningham looking sharp early, especially the first possession, helping them get into the end zone. Kevin White with a nice touchdown grab, just destroying Orlando Scandrick on what I think was a double move. Again, I haven't seen the play with the angle focused in on Kevin White running his entire route. But to get that kind of separation without safety help coming over the top, I'd like to think that that was some kind of covered three or man-to-man. And he just got beat with a double move. Fell for it, bit it hook, line, and sinker, and White used his speed to get on top of him. We know Orlando Scandrick isn't the same guy in terms of speed that he once was. So White smoked him, got into the end zone. We'll see if Kevin White's coming back onto the field one more time, or are we done with Kevin White and some of those players that we expect to contribute for the Bears this year on offense. All right. I think we might be done with the Chiefs' first team offense, though. Let's see what the Chiefs decide to do with their defense, because they still had some guys out there that are going to contribute from a starting standpoint earlier in the game. Not a lot of them, though. Still haven't seen what White did to him. I don't think we're going to get the camera angle either to be able to decipher, but that's probably it for Kevin White. Looks like that might be it for Benny Cunningham. We're probably going to see a lot more of Taquan Mizell at the running back position. Running back out of UVA. Guy that I thought was really solid, had a really solid college career. Been in the league for a couple of years, but never really gotten an opportunity to play. See if he can make this Bears roster. So Javon Wims getting some run, and I like Javon Wims. I told you, if you watch my draft wrap-up series, and for the Bears, you know, Javon Wims, the 7th round pick out of Georgia, I told you he's going to make this roster, and I think he's the guy that's going to help the Bears, and he just caught a nice little hook route and turned up the field and got a first down there. So Javon Wims is the guy that I'll be focusing in on, among others, for this Bears offense as this game progresses, because Wims is the guy that I really like. Chiefs come with a little pressure off the corner, and Chase Daniels flushed out of the pocket and forced to throw it away. But I really like what he brings to the table. He's a big guy at around 6'2" and some change, 6'3". Has some leaping ability, can go up and go get the football. Can run a little bit too. So there's a complete package there with Wims, man. White's back in the game, so we're not done with Kevin White. So you still got some stuff out there for Chase Daniels to work with. You got trips to the far side of the field with a nice little group of guys there with Marlon Brown, Kevin White, and Javon Wims. And he dumps it to Kevin White underneath on a stick route, essentially, about a 4-yard hitch. And it's a complete pass to set up a third and probably about a good 6 or 7, depending on where they mark the ball. So they give him 4, so it is 3rd and 6. And they're talking about Kevin White right now, and the Bears declining his $15 million, $14 million fifth-year option. So he's essentially a free agent next year, and this is a contract year for him being Kevin White. And he's open right now. Get it to him. Oh, and he decided to go up the field to Javon Wims, and he's got to step on the defender, and he's up the sideline to the 22-yard line. A gain of about 47 for Javon Wims. Him and Kevin White were wide open. Wims was a little bit deeper than White, and he made the right decision. He's got both of those guys wide open. Both players would have gotten a first down, but Wims was the much better option as he was further up the field, allowed to turn it up. And Wims can run. And I told you I really like Javon Wims and what this guy brings to the table. And he was able to run by that Chiefs cornerback up the field, made it a foot race, and picked up about a good 47 on that play, man. Javon Wims is going to make this team, and he's going to help the Bears in his rookie season. If he stays healthy, Wims is a really good football player. I thought they got tremendous value in the 7th round getting Javon Wims. I couldn't understand why he was still available in the 7th round, to be honest with you. Some of the receivers that I saw taken in the draft over Wims made no sense to me. You know, the Colts took a receiver out of northern Iowa that I looked at and I said, why are you taking this guy in the 5th, 6th round when a guy like Javon Wims is sitting there for you to select? Andrew Luck needs reliable targets, not guys that are going to be projects at the next level. And so Wims was great value for the Bears in the 7th round. And he just made another good play in this preseason to further his case to make this Bears roster. Silver V says, I'm all out of patience with Bob Sutton. He needs to go. Here's the thing with Bob Sutton. That's the defensive coordinator of the Kansas City Chiefs. Here's the thing with Bob Sutton. Bob Sutton has never really had elite talent in Kansas City. He's had the Kansas City Thief in Marcus Peters at the cornerback position, but nothing else. Eric Berry can't stay healthy because I would have loved to have seen what they would have done with a healthy Eric Berry, a healthy mentally and physically Marcus Peters, and a healthy Justin Houston, but you never really got that. Houston was always banged up. Berry was always banged up, and the only guy out there on a consistent week in, week out basis was Marcus Peters. Derek Johnson was getting older. You finally cut bait with him. So you're trying to revamp this defense. The defensive line has always been solid, but never overwhelming. It's going to be the same way this year. We'll see what Breland Speaks does. You're a rookie out of Ole Miss to go along with Chris Jones, the big, where are we in now? Second-year guy, I want to say now, out of Mississippi State. So the D-line is going to be a little revamped. We'll see what that looks like. But the linebacker core is going to be a big question mark for this football team. I'm not that impressed with the talent, the collection of talent at linebacker. I love the selection of the Clemson linebacker, Dorian O'Day. We'll see how long it takes him to get into the swing of things and to see if he can contribute to this football team. But I don't think Bob Sutton has the best collection of talent to work with. I mean, when you got to bring Darrelle Revis off the streets to help you at the cornerback position, it just tells you all you need to know about the lack of depth you have at the cornerback position. Obviously, that was last year, and you went out and you traded for Kendall Fuller from the Redskins. Wow. Little wide receiver screen to Taquan Mizell, and he takes it up the field and gets a gain of about 15 down to the Chiefs, let's call it Chiefs 5-yard line. So let's see. At the 25, he catches it. They get out in front. Well executed down to the 7. It's about an 8-yard gain, and Mizell can run. You know, he was a really good player at Virginia. So, you know, Taquan Mizell making his case to try to make this Bears football team as well. So from the 7, snap is taken. Chase Daniel to Javon Wims, corner to the end zone, touchdown. Beautiful catch for Javon Wims. I'm telling you, man, Javon Wims is going to be a steal for this Bears football team. I told you that in the draft wrap-up series. Wims is a hell of a football player, man. I liked him at Georgia. And I'm telling you, he's going to add great value to this Bears receiving core. Great corner route, beats David Amerson. Amerson never had a shot. Wims gets both feet down, controls the football all the way through the catch. Beautifully thrown football by Chase Daniel. That's how you do it right there. That is awesome. 3 possessions, 3 touchdowns for this Bears offense. They've looked so good against this Chiefs defense with a smattering of starters mixed in. The Bears have moved the football up and down the field at will. I told you Matt Nagy can coach them up. And despite not playing his starters, this has been a very impressive showing by Matt Nagy and his second team offense. Javon Wims with an outstanding drive. Remember, he had the 40-yard, some odd yard catch and run to get them down there, and then he caps off the drive with a beautifully caught corner route. Well thrown ball by Chase Daniel, and a great catch by Javon Wims as the Bears take a 21-10 lead. But back to Silver V. He said he's done with Bob Sutton. Sutton, like I said, hasn't had the best talent. And I look at your cornerback position again this year, and I don't think it's that good again, you know. Kendall Fuller's probably going to be your number 1 guy out there. And the fact that you have David Amerson out there, and he's going to have to be a contributor at some level for you, most likely. I really thought that Gaines would be a lot better than what he was in the league. I liked him coming out of Rice. But Phillip Gaines hasn't been, you know, more than just your average run-of-the-mill corner in this league. So it's hard to get upset at your defensive coordinator when the level of talent isn't there. But they, as you've always heard, much easier to change one guy than it is 11. So in that case, you know, you can't get rid of all 11 of your offense or defensive starters, but you can, you know, shake things up at the defensive coordinator position. So it is what it is. But nonetheless, we'll see what he does this year. If things don't go well defensively for Bob Sutton, he may be out in Kansas City. They may shake things up. But like I said, I don't think he's ever been really given a full collection of talent in terms of health either. It's never been a really good situation for him there. But his philosophy is one that he likes to play a lot of zone. He doesn't want to blitz very often. He wants to drop guys back. And I'm not a fan of being passive-aggressive. I don't want to rush 3 and drop 8. You know, give quarterbacks all day to throw the football. That's not my steed. That's been Bob Sutton's approach a lot of times, and that can be very frustrating as a fan, to sit back on your hands as a coordinator and watch your defense get destroyed. I'm not a fan of that, but that's always been Bob Sutton's MO, and we'll see what happens this year. But Javon Wims was the star of that last drive, and he's going to help this Bears football team. I really believe that to be the case. And he's continuing to strengthen his case to not only make this Bears roster, which I think is a foregone conclusion. He's going to make this football team. But I also think he is also helping strengthen his case for being a guy that gets some serious reps when the season starts and getting an opportunity to really help this football team. So he's got 3 receptions for 70 yards and a touchdown in this game, all of which was dialed up on that last possession pretty much. So Javon Wims, telling you right now, and Mahomes and the Chiefs' first-team offense still on the field. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. This is what the third preseason game is supposed to be about, getting your first-team guys some reps because they're not going to play next week. So the Chiefs do take out their running back and insert a different back, but Tyreek Hill is still out there. Patrick Mahomes is still out there. I'll take a look and see if Kelsey's still on the field. If anybody needed to go ahead and rest, it'd be Kelsey. He's a guy that's dealt with some injuries throughout his career. You really want Kelsey. We saw how bad the Chiefs' offense was in the playoff game last year when Kelsey went down. Kelsey's still out there, though. All they did was swap out backs. There might be Cyrus Gray who's in for the Chiefs. They run a bubble screen to I want to see who the receiver was. Either Chris Conley was the receiver or Tyreek Hill. Let's see who that was. It was Tyreek Hill on the wide receiver screen. Not the best blocking in front of him, and he only picks up a gain of about 2. Sets up a 3rd and 5. After the run play on first down and the wide receiver screen. Net 5 yards over the first 2 plays. 3rd and 5. Bears looking to get off the field on defense for the first time in a 3-and-out setting. Wasn't able to do that on the first 2 possessions. And it's incomplete. They try to throw into flats to Spencer Ware is the running back that was in the game for the Chiefs. And they weren't able to do it. Mahomes a little errant on the throw. And the Bears get their first 3-and-out of the game. And for both teams, that's the first 3-and-out of the game. Both offenses had moved the football in their prior possessions. But the Bears get off the field. And so we're going to get a chance to see that offense again that has been red hot to start this game. 3 possessions, 3 touchdowns for the Bears offense starting this game. So all right, so football goes out of bounds at about the 37. And another Chiefs fan basically said, hey, look, man, Bob Sutton is killing our team. Make sure you're using the hashtag LouieTLive if you want your comments read on the air. If they're pertinent, I will read them. So that sounds like right now something that the Chiefs fans are pretty much had their fill of is Bob Sutton. I'm not a fan of Sutton, but like I said, I always try to give guys the benefit of the doubt when they don't have the most talent to work with. Screen for the Bears, and Betty Cunningham is back in the game, and he gets a gain of 9 on that screen. Oh, they're going to mark him down a little shorter than 9. Looks like they're going to give him about 7.5 on that play. But a nice little screen to get the possession started, and now that sets up a 2nd and short. So now you got the full playbook at your disposal. James Daniels is out there, the Bears' 2nd-round pick out of Iowa. Good to see him getting work. The question with him was, hey, what are you? Are you a guard? Are you a center? What's going to be your position in the league? And right now, I think he's playing center. And earlier in the game, I think he was playing guard. So, you know, you get some versatility with this guy. I think he's at center. I want to get a closer look and see what position he's playing. If he was at center on that play, he got put on his ass, which was one of the issues with him coming out of Iowa. Was he needed to put on some more weight, and he will over the next, 2-3 years in the league, in the strength and conditioning program. He'll get bigger, he'll get stronger, but that was one of the issues with him coming out of Iowa was that he was a little slim. Yeah, he's playing center right now. It's James Daniels. Looked good on that block there. And after the completion to Benny Fowler on first down that netted the Bears a first down, they run it on 2nd down and don't get much there. That was a no-gainer, as a matter of fact. So I think we're done with Kevin White for the day, which he had a great showing with the touchdown grab. But Javon Wims is now going to be your star, along with Benny Fowler and Gentry out on the field right now at the receiver positions. Chase Daniels dumps it down to Benny Cunningham, makes a move, makes another Chief defender miss. Reggie Ragland, who I'm not a huge fan of, was made to miss, and then he made another Chiefs defender miss before getting 9 to set up 3rd and 1. Benny Cunningham, like I told you earlier, gonna be a really, really quality backup for this Bears football team. Benny Cunningham does so many things. Like you saw in that play, he catches it out of the backfield. He can run it, which I think they're going to hand it to him on his 3rd and inches here. And that's exactly what they do. Chiefs with great penetration. That was Tyquan Mizell, not Benny Cunningham, on the carry. Chiefs with great penetration, and they are able to stop him short of the first down. As a matter of fact, he looks like he might have lost about a good half a yard. And so it's going to be 4th down now. If I'm the Bears, you go for this. You're in Chiefs territory. It's 4th and inches still. more like a length of the football type of situation. And you want your offensive line to be able to move back the Chiefs and create a new line of scrimmage and pick up this first down. And so this is great. This is great work if you're in the preseason. Short yardage situation. Get to put some stuff on film. And they're going to go for it. Quarterback sneak. And it wasn't the cleanest of sneaks, but it should have gotten the job done. Let's see where they mark this football. That's going to be the tell. I think he got it, but it was not pretty. Chase didn't get low. The snap wasn't the cleanest. But I think it's going to be just enough. Looks like if they're spotting that football. Oh! He spotted. That's short. If he spots that football where his, I thought he was going to spot it where his left foot was. He spotted it where his right foot was. And Nagy was trying to get a timeout. He didn't like what he saw, and he didn't get it in time. That's going to be short. If they are marking that football, and that's exactly what they did, that is short, and the Chiefs are going to take over right around midfield. Great stop by the Chiefs defense. Let's get to some comments. But we were talking about Bob Sutton. I think I've already said what I needed to say, but obviously Chiefs fans are not happy with the job Bob Sutton's done. I'll say this, and I've said it already, not the biggest Bob Sutton fan because he's very passive-aggressive, loves to drop defenders in coverage versus being aggressive and going after the quarterback. But when you don't trust your secondary, you don't want to be over-aggressive. And the Chiefs haven't had the greatest secondary. Even when you look at the safety position because of the injury to Eric Berry, you've been putting guys out at the safety position that, you know, it's hard to trust. So I don't know if I can blame him necessarily for being a little passive in his approach. But anyway, Simplex says, any Fuller sightings? Yeah, Kendall Fuller is on the field. Remember, both brothers are in this game, Kendall Fuller and Kyle. Kyle did not play in this game for the Bears, as many of the Bears starters didn't take the field today. But Kendall Fuller still on the field. He was just on the field for that last possession. Bears have been smart. They haven't really targeted him in this game. I think he's only had one throw come his way. But they've really been going after David Amerson. You know, both ex-Redskins on the corners for the Chiefs in this game. And of the two, the smarter option is to go attack that of David Amerson, and that's what the Bears have done vigorously in this football game thus far and have had tremendous success. So make sure you use the hashtag LouieTLive if you want your comment to be read on the air. So 21-10. Bears turn it over for the on downs, and for the first time that they failed to score on one of their possessions. They've had 4 possessions, have had 3 touchdowns, and just had a turnover on downs after a failed 3rd and inches play and a failed 4th and inches conversion as well. Chiefs first team offense still on the field. Patrick Mahomes is on the field. Tyreek Hill on the field. Travis Kelce still on the field. Sammy Watkins still on the field. The only player not on the field with the first team offense is the running back. Look at the snap. I told you that snap wasn't good. It was bobbled from the jump. It was not clean. And that bobbled snap forced Yep, he was bumbling and stumbling and fumbling with that snap the entire time. Chase Daniel never was able to get low. On a quarterback sneak, the biggest thing is you got to get low. You got to find a hole and get low. He was never able to get low because the snap was not the best, or he didn't handle it the best. He was fumbling it the whole time, and so he had to try to corral it. And the only guy that's not in for the Chiefs, starting offensive line, starting receivers, and tight ends, only guy not in is the running back, Kareem Hunt. They've subbed in Spencer Ware. And remember, before he tore his ACL last year, Spencer Ware was the starting back for the Chiefs. So they like Spencer Ware, and they're getting him some reps with the first team offense because they think he can contribute to this Chiefs backfield. Remember, they cut ties with Charkandrick West. So they expect Spencer Ware to come back and be able to help them, not only as a runner, but also a receiver. He just picked up the blitz well. Mahomes in the pocket, lets one rip. Down the field to Sammy, and he overshot a wide open Sammy Watkins. Would have been a touchdown from about 50 yards out, but He overshot him. Great pocket, great blitz pickup by Spencer Ware to give Mahomes a pocket. Great protection. Mahomes had enough space to step up and let that one loose. And Sammy Watkins got behind the defender by about a full 2.5, 3 steps. And that's a touchdown. And in this league, the difference, and I say this all the time, in this league, the difference between the average, the good, and the great is the ability to hit the deep ball and not miss guys when they're open in this league. You do not get a bunch of, fumble, but it went out of bounds on the punt return. The return man was hit, ball came out, but it went out of bounds. So the Bears will retain the football. But like I said, the ability to hit the deep ball is the separator in this league, to hit guys when they're open. And open in this league is a half a step. You know, the ability to throw receivers open when they're covered. Those are the things that separate players in this league at the quarterback position. You can't miss deep balls. You don't get an infinite amount of those when guys are open and a chance for a really big play. There are a finite amount of opportunities that you get in this league to hit the deep ball, to hit guys down the field for chunk plays. You cannot afford to miss. Mahomes just missed. The arm is there. He uncorked it, but he overshot Samuel Watkins by about 2 yards on that play. And that's something that Sammy brings to this team, though. Samuel Watkins can stretch the field vertically. He can do the dirty work. He can catch the football in between the numbers, go over the middle of the field, be physical, catch it in traffic, but he can also stretch a defense, put stress on that safety, and really win one-on-one matchups down the field. And you just saw it just then. Beat that corner like he stole something, got behind him, but he was just overshot by Patrick Mahomes. Got to have that one, though. Adam Wick says, is the Bears' first-team defense on the field at all? No, they're not. They didn't play in this game at all. None of the starters were in this game. Not a single one, to my recollection. They might have snuck 1 or 2 guys in there, but for the most part, the Kwiatkowskis of the world, the DeAndre Halls, and those were the guys in the game. The John Bullards, those were the guys that were in the game to start this game off. None of the starters. No Kyle Fuller in this game. Obviously, Leonard Floyd hurt himself, so he's going to be a week 1 game time decision type of guy. But obviously, none of those types of players were in the game for the Bears. Yeah, you didn't get anybody of note in this game. No Prince Amukamara, none of those guys. So. We're going to see what happens moving forward. But they decided to rest the vast majority of their starters on both sides of the football. So, but they performed well. Despite resting their starters on both sides of the ball, the Bears have performed well in this game on both sides of the football. Because the Chiefs have had their starters in the entire game for the most part, especially on the offensive side. And on the defensive side, they've worked in a bunch of backups, but on the offensive side, they still got their starters, all of them, in the game right now. Chase Daniel is 14-16 for $199 and 2 scores. His passer rating right now is 158.3. He's 0.2 of a point off of a perfect rating right now. I mean, he's destroying this Chiefs defense. And they still got starters out there. Kendall Fuller is still out there at the cornerback position. Reggie Ragland is still out there at linebacker. So they still got guys out there. Damn, wide open. He underthrew Tyquan Mizell out of the backfield. He was open down the sideline for about a good 20-yard gain. And Chase Daniel just undershot him. Tyquan tried to go down and dig it out, and he couldn't quite come up with the catch. But this Chiefs defense has been horrible today. Just absolutely garbage. Reminds me of what the Redskins defense looked like last night against the Broncos. Similar numbers for Case Keenum against my Redskins defense. He just carved us up. And that's the only difference was the Redskins were going up against the Broncos' first team offense, not the second team offense. Chase Daniel decides to take off, and look at him go. Look at Chase go down the sideline. Ooh, took a shot. Took a shot, but he was still in bounds. Don't throw the flag. That's not a late hit. Come on. Let him play football. But Chase took off down the sideline for about a 30-yard gain, man. Outran 2 defensive linemen. And he just took off. And took a shot down the sideline. He might have been out of bounds. Yeah, they picked up the flag. Pick that shit up, man. That's a good hit. He straddling the sidelines this whole time. Let's make sure you tax his ass. He want to tightrope the sideline for that long. You don't know if he's going out of bounds or not. So they picked the flag up. Good for them. Good call by the referees. It's a nice hit. He gonna run for 30. Make sure he pays for that at the end of the run. He was straddling the sideline for about a good 20 of those yards. You gotta pop him and let him know what's good. So they decide to hand the football off to Tyquan Mizell. And they're going to get a late hit, unnecessary roughness on number 57 of the Chiefs coming in late at the end of that run. And that was senseless. That was unnecessary. Personal foul. Yeah, they got 57, like I said. Let me see who it is. Oh, shit. Is that who that is? Jesus Christ. He looks to be in tremendous shape. That was Breland Speaks. I seen him come off the edge on a blitz, and I didn't pay any mind. He came off the edge and flushed Chase Daniel out of the pocket on one play, and Chase Daniel had to get rid of the football. And I was like, damn, that guy was flying, but I'm like, he's a big guy. I had no idea that was Breland Speaks the entire time. Man, he's in tremendous shape. And, woo! 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 Wow. Tano passing, yo. Oh, no, they called roughing the passer on Tano passing, yo. Wait a minute. He just beat the tackle and drilled. That's a good hit! No, that's face mask to chest. Let me see that again. Oh, that's a terrible call. Lord have mercy. What are we doing, folks? The man put his face mask right in his shoulder. That is textbook. My goodness. What is the league coming to? The referees, I'm going to tell you right now, the league is going to tell them they got that call wrong. If you're making a tape of what you want guys to do when you're hitting a quarterback, that would be on the NFL's tape of things that you should do. That was textbook. Tano Passigno just beat the brakes off of the right tackle. Chase Daniel never saw him coming, drills him for about a good 8-yard sack. It is textbook. He puts his face mask right into his shoulder right here. And he went down like a ton of bricks. It was gorgeous. And they flag him for unnecessary roughness, roughing the passer. What more do you want the man to do? We all know that Passigno is like 6'8", and Chase Daniel might not even be 6 feet. And still that was textbook. That was garbage. That was trash. The Chiefs defense finally showing some life, and 2 penalties, 2 15-yard penalties have aided the Bears in this drive. I hate that call. I can't stand that call. But for the Chiefs, all the starters are still on the field. Breland Speaks is out there. Anthony Hitchens is out there. Kendall Fuller's out there. Reggie Ragland is out there. Most of these guys are still out there. Bears just called for blocking the back. So that's going to move them back 10 yards and create a 1st and 20. But So let's see what we got now. So they're going to go to the 2-minute warning on this one. That was a hell of a shot, man. I love the fact that the Chiefs are showing a little bit of life on defense now. So, Anu Naga says, how many targets has Sammy gotten today? I think he has a big year. Hashtag wide receiver U Clemson. Sammy has been targeted twice. He caught one, a slant over the middle of the field, and he was missed on a deep ball. So he's had 2 targets in this game. And the second one that he was missed on was a deep ball that would have been a 53-yard touchdown strike from him, from Mitchell Trubisky, from Mahomes to Watkins, and Mahomes just overshot him by a couple of yards. So, Anu Naga says, refs will lay off those calls by the time the season begins. I hope. I hope you're right too. And I said that myself, that I think the prevailing thought right now is let's be overly aggressive with these calls in the preseason to create a situation that these players understand what we're trying to do, and then we can ease off. They've changed some of the language, though, on these calls, on the helmet rule, to make it a little bit more narrow on the focus of it. It's still going to be a call that I think can impact games, but I don't think it's going to be as bad. But I've said this as well. I think they're going to try to really emphasize it in the preseason to get the players aware of it, and then they're going to scale back once the season starts. So, Silver V says, Chase Daniel gets a roughing call like that, then what's it going to be like for guys like Tom Brady when the regular season comes? Shaking my damn head. I don't know what you do with that. I really don't know, because that's as good as you can do it. I mean, Tano Passanio literally put his face mask in the man's shoulder. It wasn't helmet-to-helmet contact. He didn't lead with the crown of his helmet. He didn't leave his feet. He didn't take him and drive him into the ground, like in terms of, and I've seen some stupid calls where they're talking about putting all your weight down on the quarterback. That's garbage. Anyway, he did everything right, and they still hit him with a 15-yard personal foul penalty, roughing the passer. So I don't know what you want guys to do if that's a penalty. And again, you're probably going to hear about, because I heard one of the officials talking on, I want to say it was Thursday Night Football on ESPN. I think it was. And he was basically saying that the league, it was Mike Pereira. So whatever, yeah, it was Thursday night because Fox did Thursday night with the Browns and the Eagles. And Mike Pereira was saying that he was breaking down a number of calls over the amount of games that we've had. And he was talking about how, X amount of the calls were wrong and that the league had corrected their officials on them. And so that's one of those ones where they're gonna tell the officials that's a bad call. You can't make that call right there. That's as textbook as it gets. That's a clean hit. Okay. So the Chiefs burn a timeout. They're trying to get. I think Andy wants to try to get his first team offense this 2-minute work. So he's with the Bears being in a 3rd and long situation here, like 3rd and 18. He said, I think he's thinking in his head, let's try to get some of this 2-minute work. So if they can get this stop, the Chiefs still have 2 timeouts. And depending on what happens, whether the Bears they're in field goal range already. They're at the Chiefs' 31-yard line. It's 3rd and 9, actually. So they got to get the stop first. If they get the stop, they'll get a chance to run their 2-minute offense. If they don't, then they probably won't get a chance. This will be great work for them. They run a screen to Mizell. He's not going to get anywhere. Matter of fact, he's going to lose about 2 yards on the play. Great play by Jenkins. The ex-Bear, ex-Redskins, Jarvis Jenkins with a good play there. And that's going to force the Bears to have to settle for a field goal. I think Andy Reid's going to burn another timeout, which he has. And that's going to leave him with one timeout, 1:05 left. Bears are going to have to kick this field goal. And the Chiefs are probably going to have about a minute left with a timeout to run the 2-minute offense. And, you know, that's the kind of work you're looking for if you're a head coach, is you want to be able to get your team in specific situations and get them some work in a live game setting in specific situations like the 2-minute offense. So, all right, and the kick is good. Field goal from 48 yards out is good by Cody Parkey. And so it's 24-10 now. Bears extend the lead back out to 2 touchdowns to be exact. And so exactly 1 minute left on the clock. The Chiefs are going to get the football back pending a touchback. They'll have it with a minute left and a timeout. And we'll see what Patrick Mahomes is able to do in this 2-minute setting. Greg Sasa, I appreciate the heads up. If that is in fact true, I can't confirm nor deny it. I'll take your word for it. I could give a shit about what anybody is saying, man. I know what I'm about. So who gives a shit? You know, people do stuff on the internet. You get a bunch of keyboard warriors out there that love to put stuff out there in the atmosphere because they behind their computer, man. Anybody will put anything out there when you hiding behind the computer. Somebody wouldn't step in my face to tell me that shit, though. So I don't pay stuff like that any attention, man. But I appreciate you letting me know. But I could care less, to be honest. So we get a return out of the back of the end zone. And he could have kept that in the damn end zone. He wasted 5 seconds. And I don't know if he even got back to the 20. We'll see where they start this drive from. But they got 55 seconds now in one timeout. Like I said, the time is more valuable than you coming out of the end zone and wasting 5 seconds and potentially not getting back to the 20. Let's see. And you know the kickoffs now, you get to the 25. If you ain't get back to the 20, I got a problem with that. I got a real problem with you coming out. Let's see where this drive is starting from. Yeah, he got out to the 23. So he could have saved 5 seconds and you would have had 2 more yards. But in any event, Mahomes starts the drive with a bad throw. Watkins was the target there. He was wide open. That was supposed to be a drive starter. 8-yard out cut, catch it, run out of bounds, stop the clock, get the drive started, and Mahomes threw it to the inside. Honestly, he's lucky that wasn't picked off because Samuel Watkins did tip it. And it didn't go to the defender, but it had it gone straight in the air, could have easily been picked off. You can't make a mistake inside on an outbreaking route. Mahomes got to be better than that. But they live to fight another day. It's 2nd and 10, 51 seconds left. Still got their timeout left from the 23-yard line of the Chiefs. So let's see if they can get something here. And penalty, it's going to stop the play. Got to be false start. That's the only play you stop a play for. So false start on Travis Kelce. So that's going to back him up even further. At this point, if you're the Chiefs, you might run a draw here or a screen, something just safe to see if you can get something. And if you don't, you might just try to go ahead and go to halftime. So let's see what they do here. If I'm Andy Reid, I run a draw or a screen here. Because you deep in your own territory now, and you just want to make sure you get to halftime. So they run a screen. So I was right on target with that. They run a screen and they don't get a damn thing. They might get a yard on that. Joey Abuniwe and John Bullard were over there to make the stop. And then Abuniwe is a guy that I like out of Western Kentucky as a 4th-round draft pick for the Bears. Another guy that I think might be able to help them. So now I think you just try to get to halftime. And that's what they're looking to do. Mahomes throws it to Tyreek Hill, who tries to get a first down but doesn't. And if I'm the Bears, it's the preseason. Just let this shit roll down to halftime, and that's what they're going to do. You can take it to the halftime break. Wait, we got a flag, so not quite halftime yet. So let's see what happens. What's this penalty about? It's really unimpactful and not going to impact the bearing of this first half at all. It's just prolonging the inevitable, which is the end of the first half, honestly, with 9 seconds left. It looked like a couple of dudes jawing with each other. Got into it a little bit. Let's see now. All right, Hill goes down. Cam Irvin comes over, trying to get people off his dude. Okay, that was soft. And they're going to call it on Cam Irvin. Watch this. Good, they picked the flag up. Run the damn clock. Let's go to halftime, man. What are y'all doing? The dude was flopping. Cam Irvin trying to get players off of Tyreek Hill. One dude threw his arms in the air and dove on the damn ground. Run the damn clock. Let's go to halftime, man. The hell is wrong with y'all? There it is. Roll the clock. Let's go to halftime. It'll be 24-10 at the halftime break. Bears offense looked extremely impressive. Remember, no starters for the Bears on either side of the football for the most part in this game. Kevin White did play and was effective, did catch a touchdown in the first half to recap the first half. Chase Daniel was outstanding. At one point, he had completed 7 straight passes. At one point, he was 14 of 16 for $155 and 2 scores. Javon Wims was one of the highlight players of the first half. He was outstanding. But no starters on defense for the Bears. No Danny Trevathan, no Kyle Fuller, no Goldman. None of those dudes were out there for the Bears. They had a bunch of backups. And they actually held their own after a rough start to the game for the Bears defensively with their backups in against the Chiefs ones. The Chiefs went down and scored a touchdown on the first possession. The second possession, they went down, got a field goal. They clamped down and got pressure on Mahomes, forced him out of the pocket, did some good things. So the Chiefs then showed a little life on defense after giving up 3 straight scores, all touchdowns to start the game off with their starting team defense against the Bears' second team offense. They were able to show some life late in the first half, but we're 1 second away from halftime. Actually, for who played, that was a really entertaining first half. More so than I thought it would be. And Wims showed up, made some plays as a rookie. We got to see the Chiefs' first-team offense for the whole entire first half. Hell, the Chiefs' first-team offense and defense for the whole first half. So that kind of helped pass the time as well. And Chase Daniel really performed well in this first half. That's what you expect from a veteran backup, though. So that's the end of the first half. See how many people watching this thing. I guess we'll stay on live since I feel like there's enough people still watching. What we'll do, though, is we will cut off the stream, and then I'll come back live for the second half. So that's what we'll do. And I will see you guys for the start of the second half. Thank you for joining me on this first half stream of Bears and Chiefs. We'll come back and we will jump into the second half of this game. If I'm not mistaken, Bears had the rock to start the game. So the Chiefs will start off with the football in the second half. And we'll see if Mahomes comes back to start the second half. Highly doubt it, but we'll see if the Chiefs do decide to give them some work to replicate starting the second half. So we'll see if they decide to do that. But I'm your man, Louie T, signing off. I'll see you guys on the other side of halftime. Come back and join me.